There's a Lone Star in Waxahachie, Texas, who grows the grains you eat on a daily basis.
And I used to think, why couldn't I sell something like a watermelon or something? Because watermelons are cool. Everybody wants a watermelon, you know.
Texas is known for rugged ranchers and longtime farmers with deep roots in agriculture. But John Paul and Heather Deneen dared to be different. The two are first-generation producers, overcoming struggles and creating successes.
We're at the Yellow Farmhouse in Waxahachie, Texas to visit Heather Deneen and her family, where they raise crops, livestock, kids, and cook up some tasty treats. Hello, how are you? I'm at the right place, I'm guessing. You look like you're ready for me. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Margie.
John Paul always wanted to be a farmer, and when he started dating Heather, she studied up, learning about what their future would hold. Eventually, she and John Paul got married and started a family, building their farm in the process. In addition to farming, Heather heads up the family brand, the Yellow Farmhouse, featuring products made on the farm, including meat, merchandise, flour, and mixes.
So right now we're in the commercial kitchen at the Yellow Farmhouse, and Heather's working behind me with her kids. They're getting ready to mill some wheat berries to use for their custom baking mixes. So you put the wheat berries in there, and then what exactly that machine's job is to grind them into
flour.
Okay.
So we'll kind of give this just a second, kind of stop doing, and then we'll pull this out.
Okay.
So you can see the brand. It's all here. This is.
Can I touch it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little bit coarser with this grind right here.
So what's the difference between the brown and then the white there? Is that just...
So this is just your flour, and that's not going to have any of your bran in it. Most of your bran fell up here, and that's just more of the finer dustings back there.
Heather takes the freshly ground flour to the table to bag and weigh it. The 2-pound package gets a heat seal before it's placed in a brown bag with a custom label.
My favorite baking mix we have would be the cinnamon spice baking mix.
My favorite is the brownies. What they don't tell you is that if you put chocolate chips on top of your brownies before you put them in the oven, they will sink down into the middle, so you have a little surprise when you eat them, and they are bribery worthy to your kids, I'm just saying. But they don't put that on the packaging.
Heather will keep generating new ideas to ensure that's a possibility. The way her creative talents connect with customers beyond the baking aisle. And farm life isn't easy and isn't always safe.
Never did she point her finger and say, it's your fault.
The way losing a son brought both struggles and blessings to the Deneen family. The Deneens utilize every inch of space on this farm, all to help sustain and build the family business. Even Heather's sewing room, which doubles as a place to create Yellow Farmhouse merchandise.
So this is what I call my hen house.
Okay.
It is what I would call the farm wife's version of a she shed or a man cave.
I love it.
So it's kind of been under transition itself too. I love to sew. That's kind of my downtime thing, and knit. So this started out as my sewing room. We want to try to make things for gift baskets and stuff that can go along with our mixes, that just kind of give people a little bit of everything, stuff that kind of goes along with. We want to, when they make that baking mix and then it's gone, we still want to be in their home a little bit. So
this is a great idea.
Heather is proud of her family and the way they work together, but her husband is the first to say his wife has been the backbone of their first-generation farm from the start.
Heather is a special woman, and I think it takes a special woman to be married to a farmer. And Heather, to me, shines out above the rest.
The credit John Paul gives to his wife after a tragic event tests the strength of their family and their farm. Heather and John Paul started their family early on in their farming journey, knowing they wanted to pass it down. The two have had 4 beautiful children, but unfortunately, about 10 years ago, Tragedy struck when their first son, John Paul IV, was killed in an accident while baling hay with his father.
2 phone calls, the hardest 2 phone calls. One was calling her and telling him that he'd been injured and that we were trying to get an ambulance out there or a helicopter or something to get him back. And so after the ambulance did get there, you know, calling her back to tell him that he had passed. You know, that is something that you never want to have to do for anybody, much less your wife and the mother, you know, of your son. And me having to make that phone call, he was with me. It could have been very easy for her to have blamed it all on me. And being the gracious woman that she is, never did she point her finger and say, it's your fault. She just opened her arms and, you know, knew that I did the best that I could.
Their faith in God and love for each other pulled them through as they picked up and continued on.
When it happened, shortly thereafter, it was actually the following summer, another young man who was a teenager here in our community was killed in a tractor-related accident. I felt a very strong need to try and educate our neighbors and those who are living here in our community to be careful and to be cautious. And we received a lot of support and a lot of encouragement to do that.
Heather says it's important to tell their story, and educating others about agriculture is a part of that. The way one volunteer effort passes the torch to the next generation. The Dineen's want others to have a better understanding and appreciation for the food and fiber we rely on every day. Part of their effort is a hands-on experience created for local students and teachers.
We're at Clift Elementary, and there's like this little chicken coop out here.
This isn't just a little chicken coop. This is a pretty big chicken coop.
We've done a lot of speaking in schools over the years. This is a really neat opportunity for us, and a really unique opportunity, and one we really enjoyed.
There's no chickens back here, right?
There's no chickens back here.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So the chickens can lay their eggs in those nesting boxes.
They can, and this is what we were talking about, where if a student is not into being right up hands-on with the chickens or didn't want to, but they still wanted to be able to observe, these are plexiglass windows. And these were, oh, here comes a chicken right now.
Oh, they want to visit with us, huh?
And then they open, they slide, so that you can reach in and get the eggs from behind. There we go.
Cool. That's very unique. I like it.
I feel very blessed that we were able to create our brand, the Yellow Farmhouse. I feel blessed that I've got the opportunity to work with my family. We are a small business, we are a small farm, but we do get to work side by side in a lot of things.
I guess one of my favorite things about my mom is her attitude and her sense of humor. Like, whatever jobs we have to do around the farm, they may not always be the funnest, but she tries to keep it fun and laugh while we work.
She always shows love to anybody, and she always thinks things through in situations that would be rough. So she's a great person to look up to.
She is a blessing to me, to our family, and you know, without her, we wouldn't be here today.
Be sure to hit like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss one more FarmHer story, and go check out all the other good stuff we've got right here on our FarmHer channel.